Yo, what's going on guys? I'm Nick, back again for another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top favorite Weakauras that I've been using in Shadowlands Season 4. So let's get into it. The number one add-on that I would have to use is the Athena UI for Warrior. Athena does a lot of UIs for like all the different classes, and I use them on pretty much every other class that I play just because I like how simple and centralized it all is. So this Weakauras is pretty cool. It tracks like your different covenant abilities, your spell reflect cooldown, like your spell reflect, your raging blows, everything for all three specs. So you just load it up. You can play it for arms, fury, prot, whatever spec, and it'll just seamlessly transfer every time you change specs. So yeah, that would have to be my number one. Number two would have to be this mouse cursor circle Weakaura I found. It adds a little circle that has the like auto attack rate and just overall shows me where my mouse cursor is whenever I'm playing the game. So like when you're in just a massive pack of monsters and you need to like quickly click on a mob to like kick it or stun it, and you're like, oh, where's my mouse cursor? You can easily just like, oh, the pink circle, and then you can click on whatever you need to click on. I think it normally comes by default in like a white ring, so I just went into there and just changed the color setting to pink just so it stood out a little bit more and contrasted with a lot more different of the dungeons. So you can change it to whatever color suits you and is the best contrast for you. Number three would have to be this little stat tracker down in the bottom corner of my screen. It's not needed, but I really enjoy having it there just so I can see what my stats are doing like in combat, whether I've got trinkets rolling, I've got just buffs from my character just to see like what's capping out and to make sure I'm not over capping on anything, so I can change my stat weights over at the end of the dungeon. But yeah, overall it's just a nice little clean one just so you can quickly glance at and see, oh, I've got this many stacks of the seasonal affix. How much is that actually putting at me overall without having to open up your character, select like character screen and look at it there. The fourth Weakaura we're going to have a look at is my Merciless Bone Grinder proc Weakaura, which is tracks this buff here that you get from Bladestorming for warriors. So we'll come over to these training dummies. We'll hit Bladestorm. So once Bladestorm ends, we're going to get this little buff. It's a 9-second countdown of how long we have to spam whirlwinds to get our juicy whirlwinds. And having that tracked is very nice, so you can get maximum usage out of it. And you can know that if you didn't come out of a Bladestorm, or if you don't have the buff, to try and get another Bladestorm going. Another very important Weakaura for warriors, DKs, anybody that uses a Gavel of the First Arbiter, is a tracker for your buff. So when you pop it, you'll get your soul fragment, you want to kill it, and this Weakaura shows you what boon you got, and it tells you a little description of what it does. So this is really nice just for knowing if you got a good boon off the rip or not, without having to like look up in your buffs and look for the tiny little icon and see if it's good or not. And I highly recommend everybody getting this Weakaura if you play with a Gavel, just so you know that you have it, and it'll have a big countdown of how long left you have on the buff, so you can make sure to be like, yo, Mr. Tank, please pull more, I've got Gavel rolling still. Some other Weakauras that I find really helpful are some Trinket Weakauras, especially for this Scars of Fraternal Strife trinket. This trinket stacks up to 5 runes, and each rune gives you a secondary stat up to the first 4, and then the 5th doubles all those secondary stats for a duration of 30 seconds and then explodes. But it also gives you a negative. So you get these, this Weakaura here tracks what stage I'm at. So I'm at 2 runes, which you can see at the top there. It tells me what the negative of the first one is 10% damage taken is echoed again. And then the second one is 5% negative heal taken. And then the plus 114 verse and haste. So we can pop it again, and it'll say we're on stage 3. It has a countdown to how many seconds till we can press it again to get our 4th rune. And then the next debuff is that we actually bleed a little bit, and then we get crit. The next one is mastery, and then it the 5th stack, it doubles those 4 stats, and then after 30 seconds, as I said, it explodes. So you want to have this timer here, helps you track that like explosion timing a bit better, so you can try and get it going into a pack where the mobs actually have a lot of HP left, so you can really get a lot of damage out on them. Another trinket Weakaura I like is for Solea's secret technique. I don't think I have... It won't show up when I'm not in a party, but this Weakaura, what it'll do is when you're in a party with 4 other people, or actually even in raid groups, I'm pretty sure it works. it'll highlight over their nameplates. It'll tell you what is their highest secondary stat, so then you can know who to use your trinket on, and that's the secondary stat you'll get. And that one is very handy as well. So the last Weakauras I want to talk about is some Weakauras that I like using in dungeons. They have like niche uses because they're only available to use in some dungeons. But a very important one is for Quaking Week, is to have a Quaking countdown bar. So it'll count down from 20 seconds, and sometimes you'll get the Quaking will go out at 0 seconds, or sometimes you'll skip. But it allows you to know if you need to pull into the next pack, if there's going to be a Quake going to go out straight away, or you can know if it's safe to pull without having a Quaking going off. Another Weakora I like to use for Tazavesh Gambit is this Hildebrand Titan Console one. So this is for like if you're tanking, or if your tank doesn't know what they're doing, you can run up to the front console, click on it, and then the little runes will pop up, and you just click them appropriate for the pattern that's on the console. You hit send, and it'll paste into your chat the right order for the runes, looking directly at the console. Another dungeon Weakora that is very nice to have when you're doing the workshop dungeon is this Cujo safe buff for the dog boss, the second boss in workshop. So when you get higher and higher into the keys, you want to be tanking the dog like on the box, and it's very awkward, so you can get maximum damage uptime for your melee players, which I know you probably shouldn't take melee players anyways, Pepe off. But anyways, so you want to tank them on the box, and this Weakora actually tracks, you get a buff when you're standing close enough to the box that shows that you're safe. So this Weakora will actually pop up when you're in a safe spot to know if you can stand close enough to the dog to keep hitting it, or just to make sure that you're standing behind the box so you're definitely not going to get hit by those pulsing waves. And that's going to be the end of all the Weakoras that I enjoy using at the end of Shadowlands here. I'll probably be doing one for Dragonflight once we start getting some new Weakoras and whatnot. But I'll try and leave in the descriptions a link to each of the Weakoras that I've talked about today. Some I might not be able to find some of them because I've been linked to them just like in-game from friends. So I'll see what I can do. But anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have any Weakoras that I should look into that really help your gameplay. And see you next time. Peace.